Good morning. Welcome to Hope Unitarian Church, where our mission is seeking hope, love, and justice together in community. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and whatever your life circumstance, you are welcome here. If you are new to Hope or still feeling new, or just need someone to talk to, I invite you to contact me at the church. Hope's contact information will appear on screen at the end of today's services. To all who are here this morning, welcome home.
We are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place.
Flaming chalice, symbol of our living faith, burns brightly. Let's say our unison words for chalice lighting. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together. There is hope in the opening of a flower. There is hope in the struggle for justice. There is hope in the music of the ages. Give us the spirit of hope, now and always. Blessed be. Please join me in reciting our living covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please lift your voices to sing hymn number 344 in the gray hymnal, A Promise Through the Ages Rings.
A promise through the ages rings, that always, always something sings, not just in May, in Finch-filled bower, but in December's coldest hour. A note of hope sustains us all. A life is made of many things, bright stars, bleak years, and broken rings. Can it be true that through all things there always, always something sings? The universal song of love, entombed within our deep despair, our pain seems more than we can bear. But days shall pass, and nature knows that deep beneath the winter snow, a rose lies curled and hums its song. For something always, always sings this
morning. My name's Anita Ward. I wanted to start by thanking some people, including all of you that brought cereal. We had 2 full trash bags full of cereal to take to the day center last night. And I wanted to thank Elaine Dotson's family who did the cooking, and Maggie Scott who did the pre-cooking, and Janet Nobles and myself took it down there. And they're just most appreciative. Thank you. Children's Church is at a new time. It's going to be at 2:30 today. Reverend Greg has coffee hour on Tuesday morning and cocktail hour on Thursdays at 4. And the minutes of board meetings are now going to be posted on the website. You do have to have a password. It's under New Member Resources. I'm delighted that we are going to have this opportunity. I think it'll keep us more in touch with what's going on. But you do need to get the password from Molly. Thanks.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, weak set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Blessings on Those Staying Home by Linda Barnes. We're staying home. Love has never asked of this before. We're staying home. This is our gift to humanity. Let us wish each other well. For those staying home alone, I offer you this blessing. May you grow a deeper understanding of your own worth. Dear one, leaven the aloneness with gentle care, for this too shall pass. May you be blessed with a peace and serenity. May you find the courage to reach out to hear another's voice and to remember that they need you too. May you be well. For those staying home together, I offer you this blessing. May you find moments of patience and grace in your relations. May you offer each other enough time apart, reassurance, and space enough to cry, to safely rage, for this too shall pass. Then let peace come again into your home. May you see one another's whole self as a gift. May you be well. For those working from home, I offer you this blessing. May you remember to take breaks. May you find the means to relish your imperfection and the imperfection of others as evidence of our shared humanity. You are enough, even when there isn't enough. Make order in your days, and then let it go. May you be well. For those staying home with children, I offer you this blessing. May you find humor and compassion in your days. There will be learning of a different kind, deeper, no doubt, unexpected for sure. May there be patience and forgiveness again and again and again, for this too shall pass. May you all remember the deep love that brought your family into being. May there be peace and understanding in your home. May you be well. May we be well. May it be so. Let us sit in silence and be one in spirit.
The reading today is titled, A Seed Knows How to Wait, by Hope Jaran. A seed knows how to wait. Most seeds wait for several years before starting to grow. A cherry seed can wait for up to 100 years with no problem. What exactly each seed is waiting for is only known to that seed. Some unique trigger, combination of temperature, moisture, light, and many other things is required to convince a seed to jump off the deep and take its chance, to take its one and only chance to grow. A seed is alive while it waits. Every acorn on the ground is just as alive as the 300-year-old oak tree that towers over it. Neither the seed nor the old oak is growing. They're both just waiting. Their waiting differs, however, in that the seed is waiting to flourish, while the tree is only waiting to die. When you go into a forest, you probably tend to look up at the plants that have grown so much taller than you ever could. You probably don't look down, where just beneath your single footprint sits between 100 and 1,000 seeds, each one alive and waiting. When you are in the forest, for every tree that you see, there are no less than 3 million more trees waiting in the soil, fervently wishing to be. When the embryo within a seed starts to grow, it basically just stretches out of its doubled-over waiting posture, elongating into official ownership of the form that it assumed years ago. The hard coat that surrounds the peach pit, a sesame or a mustard seed, or a walnut shell mostly exists to prevent this expansion. In the laboratory, we simply scratch the hard coat and add a little water, and it's enough to make almost any seed grow. I must have cracked thousands of seeds over the years, and yet the next day, green never fails to amaze me. Something so hard can be so easy if you just have a little help. In the right place, under the right conditions, you can finally stretch out into what you're supposed to be. Each beginning is the end of a waiting. We are each given one chance to be. Each of us is both impossible and inevitable. Every replete tree was first a seed that waited. When the embryo within a seed starts to grow, it basically just stretches out of its doubled-over waiting posture, elongating into official ownership of the form that it assumed years ago. The hard coat that surrounds a peach pit, a sesame or a mustard seed, or a walnut shell mostly exists to prevent this expansion. Something so hard can be so easy if you just have a little help. In the right place, under the right conditions, you can finally stretch out what you're supposed to be. Each beginning is the end of a waiting. We are each given exactly one chance to be. Each of us is both impossible and inevitable. Every replete tree was first a seed that waited.
The sign says Adventure Inn, and this hotel is located just up the street from the Unitarian Universalist Church I served previously in Reno, Nevada. I pass by it often on the way to an Italian restaurant of which I was particularly fond, or to the corner drugstore across the way. The inn's neon sign blares, "Come hither and take a walk on the wild side." The Adventure Inn looks exactly like what many tourists picture when they think of Nevada beyond the infamous Strip in Las Vegas. Rustic to the point of being seductively run down, flashy yet trashy, almost legitimate but not a place to chat about in polite company. An inn of innuendo and intrigue. A hotel with themed rooms is nothing new or necessarily naughty. It makes sense to have a honeymoon suite, a western suite, and I suppose for the Velvet Elvis crowd, a 1950s suite. These can be found among the finest and foremost hotel properties, perhaps Elvis accepted. I was even grateful to learn that there is an Adam and Eve suite, apparently designed with clergy folk in mind. It is too bad our own progressive wing of liberal religion is not represented with the requisite Adam and Steve suite. Perhaps we should pick it. But soon kitsch yields to kinky as the names of other suites either define or defy their intent. Take it from me, I'm no prude, but I wouldn't know where to begin in the outer space suite with 18-foot swimming pool. Dewlaps? Lock lips? I'm simply lost in space. Some of you must be thinking, Dios mío, how often did Greg visit this historical Nevada landmark? I'm not saying, but I will give out the website address to those of you who can show proper ID. Suffice it to say, with 5 children and a trio of 4-footed freeloaders at the time, not to mention an eclectic congregation, I did not need to travel far for adventure. But some of us do. There are those who are driven by a force that, distinguished from desire, propels them to the ends of the earth. Take Jane Goodall, for example. In her adventurous memoir, Reason for Hope, A Spiritual Journey, she relates the following about her first departure to Africa. She says, I was 23 years old and I was leaving all that I knew, my family, my home, my country. I must have been a little apprehensive, and I'm sure I felt sad to be parting from loved ones. But I don't remember anything except a feeling of absolute amazement. It was actually happening. I was sailing off to Africa into the unknown, where the only person I would know would be a school friend I had not seen in at least 5 years. Dr. Goodall's lifelong hope came true. She first collaborated with and then carried on the work of the celebrated Louis Leakey. Her unprecedented study of chimpanzees forever altered the very definition of what it means to be human. And it almost killed her. Almost every discovery that is premised on hope comes at great cost. Jane Goodall experienced the horrors of the London Blitz and World War II and post-war hardships. She endured the jealousies and attacks of colleagues who continually questioned the integrity of her work. Dr. Goodall survived a terrorist attack and hostage-taking in Tanzania, the slow and torturous death of her husband, and a temporary loss of the theosophical faith that had sustained her religious journey from childhood. Certainly, Dr. Goodall paid the price for her hope in humanity. Upon leaving Africa, she must have tucked herself away in a cozy chalet, say in the Swiss Alps, or perhaps lounged in a cabana on the French Riviera. She deserved retirement, and we had taken from her more than our fair share of her life and work. Who knows? She may have even found that there is a jungle suite at the Adventure Inn. Of course, her memoir tells a different story. See, the hope that pushes past beyond desire and into the realm of calling, the hope that is costly, has virtually no limits to its license. Published in 1999, her memoir tracks her comings and goings once she left the fields of the Gobi Desert and makes no mention of being on holiday. She says, since 1986, I have been traveling almost constantly. I do this to raise funds for the various conservation and educational projects of the Jane Goodall Institute, and to share with as many people as possible a message that I feel is desperately needed. A message that concerns the nature of human beings and our relationship to the other animals with whom we share the planet. And a message of hope, hope for the future of the earth. Goodall eventually found her way back to religion, and like so many reasonable believers, found that the experiments of science and the experiences of creation enhanced rather than inhibited her religious life. Though her hope came at great cost, nevertheless it compels us to search for the saints within each of us. Are you and I willing to pay the price for authentic hope? The kind of hope that won't settle for cheap grace or minimal sacrifice? Are we willing to forsake all and follow the callings that refuse to let us off the hook? It is so much easier to practice Sunday morning sanctification than it is to embrace a weekday way of life that requires similar piety. At least that is my struggle and challenge. If I only had a nickel for everyone who became a Unitarian Universalist because they were sick and tired of the demands put on them by orthodoxy. No more charismatic acrobatics or Hail Marys for me. I've had enough of religiosity and ritual, of commandment keeping and genuflecting. I can no longer sit and detach or kneel and pray. I'm not facing Mecca 5 times a day. Now that I am a religious liberal, I don't have to do anything anymore, ever. To which I pastorally respond, you fool, these are the easy parts. You can do most of those things in an hour on any holy day. Try practicing a religion that puts its faith in you every day and not in some far-off, otherworldly God once a week. In a faith that proclaims God may be optional, but you are not. Get up off of those kneelers and zaffus and prayer rugs and get down into the trenches of the human condition. Confront your moral dilemmas without a unique holy text, without a unifying creed or a dictatorial dogma. Give sacrificially to the work of this church in the world, rather than skimming off the top. No, don't come here expecting to find light religion. We don't dispense cheap grace. To be Unitarian Universalist will take at least a lifetime, and it may cost you your very life. Yes, the hope that is found in liberal religion comes at great cost, and I am not surprised one whit that Unitarian Universalists are small in number among the global buffet of religious options. Everybody likes a bargain. No one wants to pay full price. Why, that would be downright un-American. It was the independent thinker and theologian from Nazi Germany, Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who wrote the book on the cost of following a hope-filled calling. The book is The Cost of Discipleship, and it eventually gained him an execution by special order of Himmler at the concentration camp in Flossburg just a few days before it was liberated by the Allies. If anyone has a right to explain the difference between cheap grace and costly grace, if any man has the experience to determine that true hope cannot be acquired without utmost sacrifice, if anyone can point the way to make a difference in a world of indifference, Dietrich Bonhoeffer can. This was no ordinary prisoner of war or critic of culture. Given the chance to recant, he simply refused. He defied the Gestapo by openly admitting that, as a liberal Lutheran, he was an implacable enemy of National Socialism and its totalitarian demands on its citizens. He was completely candid, regardless of personal safety, while deeply moved by the shame of the country he loved. As he used to say, "It is not only my task to look after the victims of madmen who drive a motor car in a crowded street, but to do all in my power to stop their driving at all." Think of Charlottesburg. Now, this was one dangerous radical, so the power elite upped the ante. He was continually threatened with torture and with the arrest of his parents, his sisters, and his fiancée, who all had a helping hand in his so-called subversive activities. There was another time when friends made an attempt to liberate Bonhoeffer and take him safely abroad. He decided to remain in prison in order not to endanger others. One might assume that Dietrich Bonhoeffer had found the answers to life's questions of ultimacy. After all, how else could he find the kind of hope that endured death itself? Yet this martyr was always so much like you and me. On a very good day, he could sail on the winds of hope. But hope, as we shall find out in the weeks to come, is not only costly, it is fleeting. On most days, he simply questioned, expecting few answers in return. Consider this poem, one he wrote from the prison cell. Who am I? They often tell me I step from my cell's confinement calmly, cheerfully, firmly, like a squire from his country house. Who am I? They often tell me I used to speak to my wardens freely and friendly and clearly, as though it were mine to command. Who am I? They also tell me I bore the days of misfortune equably, smilingly, proudly, like one accustomed to win. Am I really that which other men tell of? Or am I only what I myself know of myself? Restless and longing and sick, like a bird in a cage, struggling for breath, as though hands were compressing my throat, yearning for colors, for flowers, for the voices of birds, thirsting for words of kindness, for neighborliness, tossing in expectation of great events, powerlessly trembling for friends at an infinite distance, weary and empty at praying, at thinking, at making, faint and ready to say farewell to it all. Believe it or not, this is what gives me hope. It is not only the triumphs of a Bonhoeffer or a Goodall that inspires me. In fact, they can make me feel inadequate, insufficient, and small when taken out of context. It is also their trials that make possible for me what was providential for them. Well, I cannot say with complete conviction that I would be willing to die for what I utterly believe in. On a good day, I am at least willing to entertain the idea. But I'm no Bonhoeffer. I cannot be as good as Goodall. They may be saints after all. End of story. Fini. Then again, maybe there are reasons for hope. Goodall questioned the meaning of life and found that suffering and sacrifice informed her at least as much as success. Bonhoeffer questioned his own identity and found that a single answer could not satisfy the question. On some level, at least, these saints sound an awful lot like you and me. When you leave here today, count the cost of being a religious liberal in Oklahoma. Not just a liberal, but a religious liberal. Consider both the triumphs and trials of our chosen faith. Ask yourself if you are willing to pay the price for a fully human life. Then go out and live as if life matters more than death. Indeed, it does. To the glory of life. Community Health Connection is our October generosity recipient. They are a key provider of a full range of comprehensive primary and preventative health care for all ages. They serve those with and without insurance, those with Sooner Care, Insure Oklahoma, and Medicare. In addition, they serve those who do not have a medical home where their language is spoken. Church member Julia Harris is graciously giving a $1,500 matching grant. That's our goal this month, at least $1,500. May today's offering reflect our highest aspirations for the work of this church in the world. Let's read our offertory response together. We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves at fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. We are ever bound in community. Let's sing our closing hymn, number 95, in the gray hymnal. Number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
Our chalice is extinguished. Please say these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of commitment, or the fire of these we will say, carry in our hearts until we are together again. And may the love that casts out fear and the truth that sets us free lead us forward together till the day spring breaks and the shadows flee away. Amen.
We had spent time together, and these holy moments give us strength to go down the winding road until we meet again. And my hope for you is a peace that's true until